It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
You're watching the Eagle Community Television Forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week. The forum brought to you by Hayes Med. By the way, you can also look us up on Facebook and check out previous shows and guests. It's the forum. Again, I'm Mike Kerner. Our guest this week is Guorong Zhang. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Guorong is a talented wheat producer, wheat breeder, at Kansas State Ag Research Center here in Hayes. And you've kind of grown up in China and around wheat probably a lot in your life, but I know that in China they've got a lot of wheat. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a new breed that you have. I guess we'll talk to you a little bit about that in the second half of the show. Red winter wheat. You've got a new red winter wheat that's out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that a little bit, but what brings you to the United States and what's your background a little bit?
Okay, yeah, I grew up in a small farm in China, but I actually in my hometown actually not too much wheat. We grew a lot of rice because I grew up in southern China. So, but before in China, I was working on barley breeding, and then I tried to study the barley breeding in America, but I contacted one professor, but that professor don't have enough funds, so he recommended me to a wheat breeder. Then I started to study the wheat breeding.
So you started in barley was where you're focused on, then you kind of moved over to wheat a little bit. What was interesting about barley? What did you learn with barley besides getting a chance to get some good beers out of it?
That's the barley always, I think all the crop breeding are the same principles. So it offered me, the breeding technique and breeding theory. I learned all those kind of stuff, and then so that.
Where did you go for your bachelor's degree and then on to your master's and Ph.D.?
The bachelor degree, I studied my bachelor degree in Zhejiang Agriculture University. Then master is in Hangzhou University. I studied for the biology. So anyway, it's a genetics program in my master, and then go to North Dakota State University, study for my Ph.D. degree in wheat breeding.
So you went from some rainy weather in southern China to cold weather in the United States.
Yes, it's totally different. It's kind of very cold. In southern China, I grew up, it's in the winter, it's not that cold. It's only about 32 degrees something.
Well, we talk about the different varieties out there and grains out there. Of course, we've got corn, we've got rice, we've got wheat, and barley, and you mentioned too. Mm-hmm. And are they all? Is there a lot of similarities in them in their genetic code when you study this stuff?
All the grains, it's same thing if you come to the genetics part, and all the same, similar. So, yeah.
You have a chance to study that pretty in depth under the microscope all the time?
No, we usually, because breeding, usually doing a lot of work in the field. We work in the field and taking notes and doing selection. We didn't do a lot of lab work actually.
Now, what brings you to Hayes? How did your adventure through life bring you to Hayes, Kansas?
Actually, because my Ph.D. is at wheat breeding, so I kind of want to become a wheat breeder actually. So there's an opportunity here, the position open, wheat breeder position open. That's why I come here.
Well, it's a very well-known area for wheat, and there's a lot of different varieties out there to study.
Yeah, it is. Kansas is very famous for wheat. It's a very I think it's the largest state for growing wheat, so I'm fortunate to take this place.
You think that you've learned quite a bit since you've been here, just in the couple of years that you've been here, about wheat?
Yeah, I learned a lot actually, yes.
Well, I want to talk to you about the new varieties of wheat that you're studying and that you're coming up with, and the resistance that they have. And I think we're going to talk about that in the next part of the show. Mm-hmm. So hang on with us. We're going to take a quick break right now. Again, Guorong Zhang is our guest. He is a wheat breeder with Kansas State Ag Research Center, and he's our guest this week on the forum, brought to you by Hayes Med.
youthful body, tight tummy, smooth facial lines. Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery is here to help you achieve your goals and give yourself the new look you've always wanted. Greystone offers sophisticated surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures. With services now available locally, there's no need to wait any longer. Contact Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery at Hayes Medical Center today or online at greystonecosmetic.hayesmed.com.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
You're watching The Forum, brought to you by HNC. I'm Mike Kerner. By the way, if you've got any guest ideas or questions or comments about the show, Gary would love to hear about it. It's gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Again, that's gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Our guest today is Guorong Zhang, and he is with Kansas State Ag Research Center. He's been here a couple of years now and studying wheat and all the different varieties out here. A lot of us think, we see the fields and we see wheat, but we don't take into consideration all the different varieties and what's changed over the years. I know that when I was younger, we'd go out and we'd cut wheat in the fields, but it would be a lot taller wheat.
Yes.
Now it's a lot shorter and tolerant to the storms and the wind and stuff like that. So it's changed a lot over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's especially I think the statue, the wheat statue, the height is changed a lot. Since 1970, we start to change the weight into the semi-dwarf type, so kind of become short. So the short style would be tolerant to the lodging and tolerant to the high fertility. So the farmers can put more fertilizers and get high yield, something like that. So,
I remember back into the 70s and 80s, well, actually really more so in the 80s, hearing about this red winter wheat, and there was a lot of marketing going on about red winter wheat back in the 80s even. What's the different varieties of wheats that are out there that you see, or that you see really in this area predominantly?
oh, you mean the hard red?
Yeah, what kind of wheats do we see? We see the red winter wheat, but are there any other varieties?
Yeah, there's other type. I mean the hard white winter wheat here. Actually, our project before we focused on the hard white winter wheat, but there's looks like a very small acres in the market, so not much market there. So now we switch back to the hard red winter wheat, but we are still keep the hard
white.
Yeah, we still keep the white one, and so almost keep try to put 50 on each type. So.
What types of products are? I know the white winter wheat, or the white wheat is used a lot for like the white breads and stuff like that. What is the red winter wheat used for? What kind of products on the market?
All the white and the red wheat it's mostly used for the baking, baking products, and also maybe the white wheat is more used on the noodle products. Yeah.
And then the elevators around when the farmers bring in their wheat, they have separate containers and they keep that all separate, don't they?
Yeah, they have to keep it separated. Otherwise, the price will be dropped, and so mixed wheat, I think price a little bit lower.
Well, let's talk about the program out there at the Kansas State Ag Research Center. Can you tell us a little bit about the program and how many people you have out there employed and what you're all working on?
Yeah. And my program, we have 2 technicians, and then include me 3 people. Then in the summertime, we will hire some college student and high school student to help, and because it's a busy time. And then as I told you before, we pretty much 50% on red wheat and 50% on white wheat. Then the major traits that we are working on that is yield, quality, and then disease resistance, and drought tolerance, heat tolerance, and then for white wheat is the sprouting tolerance is very important, because usually they say the white wheat white wheat is more susceptible to the sprouting, pre-harvest sprouting. So we are also working on that. So also white wheat, we're also working on try to work on the because for the nodal quality. So we're working on the waxy. Some wheat are waxy wheat, and if a partial waxy will be very good for some of the nodal product, like a udon nodal. It's very good if it's a partial waxy, and then we try to reduce the PPO. PPO is a polyphenol oxidase. If it's high, then we'll make the nodal color dark. So we want to reduce that PPO level. So this can.
Now, how far out does a Kansas State Ag Research Center or your division here in Hays, how far out do you go to do research? Do you go out to fields maybe 60 miles, maybe 100 miles out, or even further?
Actually, it's even further. We usually develop a variety for western Kansas, so it's kind of a bigger area. So we have yield locations, yield trial location at, include Hays, is 8 locations like Garden City, Colby, Osborne, Pawnee, Dodge City, and Ness, and so Grandma County, those 8 locations. So sometimes it's furthest location, I think it's about 2 or 3 hours away. Yeah.
Do you see now, because we've had such a big drought in western Kansas and western Kansas, central Kansas, northwest Kansas, more of a demand for a drought-tolerant wheat? And have you found some out there?
Yeah, I'm sure the drought tolerance, we're always working on that, but drought tolerance is not that easy to bring, it's get totally tolerant or what. It's need gradually to improve that trait. So we are working on that. Last year I imported some different drought-tolerant germplasm from Australia and China, and try to incorporate those different tolerance gene into our wheat. So we are working on that.
How's that going so far?
Breeding,
it takes a long time.
Develop a variety takes almost 10 to 12 years, so we're still in the middle.
So we'll give you some time yet. I'll give you a pass on that. And of course, your program is very, very well known. I don't know if you knew about it before you came to Hays, but the Kansas State Ag Research Center, very well known all across the country.
Yeah, I know it before I came here. I think even Kansas, the whole Kansas is a wheat state, so I know that. Yeah.
Now, real quick, before we go here, I wanted to ask you another question. What do you think, and what's your thoughts of the wheat now that you're seeing out here at this stage of the game? I mean, how does the wheat look for this year's crop?
This year's crop doesn't look very good. It looks like if we don't get the rain in time, we will be in very bad situation. So
yeah, from what I've seen, it looks kind of spotty here and there. It just depends what you're seeing.
Yeah, those spotty stress. That means even the rain comes in, those spotty place will be dead. I think those cannot get any yield.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in and telling us and sharing us the story of your life and what's going on with your research. And I guess you welcome people to come down or talk to you guys anytime.
Yeah, I think on May 30th this year we have a field day at the station, start at 10. So
it's May 30th.
Yeah, May 30th. Everyone is welcome. So.
All right, so starting at 10 a.m., you can go down to the Kansas State Ag Research Center, and it's a field day, right?
It's a field day, yeah, open to public.
Very good. Well, thank you for coming by and being our guest today, and good luck with your research.
Thank you very much.
And it's, again, Guorong Zhang. He is a talented wheat grower, breeder at Kansas State Ag Research Center. This is The Forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week. Thank you for joining us.
Youthful body, tight tummy, smooth facial lines. Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery is here to help you achieve your goals and give yourself the new look you've always wanted. Greystone offers sophisticated surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures. With services now available locally, there's no need to wait any longer. Contact Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery at Hays Medical Center today or online at greystonecosmetic.haysmed.com.